We had Firefox driver, Chrome driver, iDriver. Okay, and there were different drivers we saw. Fine. Now the question arises that if we have to learn about Firefox driver, Chrome driver separately, or how can I write a script which can work dynamically on all the browsers? Okay. For example, I'll just create a new. Hold on. Just a minute. My Eclipse has hanged. Yeah. So I'll create a new package. Just a minute, guys. And I'll call it as day 3. Finish. And in day 3, I'll create a new class, no launch browsers. Okay. Now suppose I have to write a script which will work on multiple browsers. Right. Suppose I declare a variable over here that is a browser equals to Chrome. Then whatever script I am writing over here should be working on Chrome. Okay, I want this. I want this that the script should be dynamic enough. Okay, if I change the browser name to Mozilla, then whatever script or code I have written should work on Mozilla. If I change it to I or Edge, it should work on that. Fine. So common logic says that you can use if else statement. Okay, if I use it, then if I write over here, if browser is equal to Mozilla, then you create the object of Firefox driver. Okay, right. And else, if the browser is equal to Chrome, you create the object of Chrome driver. Okay, right. And similarly, else if the browser is equal to I, then you create the object of Internet Explorer driver. Right. Okay. And suppose if I have to go to say some website, you can write Firefox driver dot get, go to the certain URL http yahoo.com. Okay, and if Chrome has to be taken, then Chrome driver dot get http yahoo.com. Okay, and similarly for iDriver. But does this make sense? It is not making sense because we have a single browser. I can change it to Chrome as well. The script will run on Chrome, but I'm writing a separate script for every browser. If I have to click on a link on Firefox, I will have to write the code to click on a link over Firefox over here. To click on Chrome, I will have to write over here. To click on I'll have to write over here. So it is not making sense. I'm writing separate scripts in a way for every browser. Okay, so the solution to this problem comes from the concept of interfaces. All right. So we want to write a script which should work on all the browsers. Okay, but we don't want to just write separate piece of code for every browser. Okay, so in Java we have interfaces. Fine. I'll just create a new. You will get the option interface. Okay. Now what is an interface? Interface is something which gives you an idea about the system. For example, if you go and have dinner somewhere, so you have the a la carte menu from which you order the food. So that menu is like an interface to you. Okay. You really don't know how the food will be made and all, but that menu gives you an idea about what is to be offered in the dinner. Right. So interface gives you an idea about the system. The face cover of a book gives an idea that what the book is about. Right. So that face cover is an interface. So similarly in Java also we have got interfaces. For example, okay, I can make an interface with the name, say car. Simple interface car. And what are the properties of a car? Okay, the car can start, the car can refuel. Okay, right, fine. So in interface, we don't have the method bodies, we just declare them. Okay, we don't define them, we declare them. That car has got these three functions. Just by looking at the car interface, anybody can say that fine, the car is supposed to have these three set of functions. But how will it start? How the start method will be implemented? You have no idea about that. Okay, right. So over here, you make a new class with the name, say Honda car. Okay, right. So Honda car is also supposed to have these three functions. Okay, right. So what we do in Java is that we write over here, the class implements the interface car. Okay, right. This Honda car class is implementing the car interface. Fine. And you can move the mouse over it and say add unimplemented methods. Fine. And these are the three unimplemented methods. If a class is implementing an interface, okay, it should be implementing all the functions in the interface. Okay, if a class is implementing an interface, my class Honda car is implementing the car interface, then this class should be implementing all the functions in the interface. These three functions, start, refuel, and stop, okay, will be implemented by the car interface. Okay, sorry, by the Honda car. If I just remove any one of them as well, I will start getting an error. Okay, so if a class is implementing an interface, then it is mandatory for that class to implement all the functions. Fine. And over here, you can write system.out.println starting car. Over here, refueling car. Stopping car. Okay, right. And if this is Honda, so Honda can implement it in its own way. Okay, right. The Honda car class can implement the start, refuel, and stop functions in its own way. This @ override is known as an annotation. You can remove it. Okay. Or is my voice clear to everybody? Is my voice okay? All right. So you can remove this annotation or you can keep it. It is just to tell you that this function is coming from the car interface. Okay, right. So if I make another interface, if I make another class known as, say, Toyota car, I can write over here that this is also implementing the car interface. Okay. If a class is implementing an interface, it has to implement all the functions, right? And inside it, you can write Toyota. It can implement in its own way, whatever way it wants, right? So I can write over here Toyota. But what is the use of this? How will this help us? Okay, I am just coming over to it. Fine, just a minute. All right. So what I did, I made an interface, and these two classes are implementing the interface. Okay. The interface was the interface car. Okay. Right. And Toyota car and Honda car classes are implementing the car interface. Okay. These two are implementing the car interface. All right. Fine. And what is the use of the interface? I could have never made the car interface. I could have just made these two classes. Why did I create the car interface? Okay, generally this is the question which comes in the mind that what is the use of this? I could have simply made Toyota car with three functions and Honda car with three functions. Look, the usage is, the advantage is that we will have one interface and two classes implementing the interface. Okay, whatever are the functions in the interface, the same functions are there in these two classes. So just as a layman, if you look at this particular interface, then since both the classes are implementing the same interface, you will say that fine, since both these classes are implementing the same interface, okay, in that case, the same set of functions will be there in these two classes. You will automatically come to know, right? And if tomorrow more concrete car classes they come up, then all the classes will be implementing the same interface, and you will say that fine, these classes will have the same functions which are mentioned in the interface. So just by looking at the interface, you will be able to judge that what functions will be there in the implementing classes. Okay, this is the advantage. The function names are same. If I just a minute. If I create a new class known as test car with the main function, okay, and I create the objects over here. For example, I create the object of Honda car, and I write Honda car dot start, Honda car dot refuel h1 dot stop. The function names are same as the other class which we had made, Toyota car. Okay, t dot start refuel and stop. So you have same set of functions in both the classes. Okay, but implemented differently. Honda can implement it in its own way, and Toyota can implement in its own way. Right. Okay. Now, if you look at Selenium, we had seen this documentation yesterday. Okay. Right. In this documentation, whatever is written in italics on the left side, these are all the classes which are present in Selenium. But whatever is written in italics is an interface. Okay, right. For example, mouse. Mouse is written in italics. Mouse is an interface. And these are the functions in the mouse interface. Click, context click, double click, mouse down, mouse move. Okay. And these are the two implementing classes for the mouse interface. So they will give you all the details that you can create the objects of these classes and then fire these functions. Okay, if you scroll down to WebDriver, look, technically WebDriver is an interface. There is a interface named WebDriver in Selenium API. Okay, this interface has been implemented by all the driver classes, and this interface has got these functions which will help you to interact with the browser. For example, close will close the browser. Find element function will go and find an element on the browser. Get function will load a particular URL. Get title will give you the title of the web page. So interface WebDriver is the main interface to use for testing, which represents an idealized web browser. Okay, right. And this interface gives you methods and functions with which you can control the browser. Okay. Since these are the implementing classes, Chrome driver, Edge driver, Firefox driver, iDriver. So since all these classes are the implementing classes, these all classes will also have the same set of functions. Firefox driver will not have some different functions than Chrome driver or Edge driver. Okay. All these driver classes will have the same set of functions. Okay, right. So, how do we work? How do we work out here? This is launch. Okay. If you go back to launch browsers, then now we know that Firefox driver, Chrome driver, and iDriver, they will have same set of functions. Okay. So get function is there in all three of them to load a URL. If you write over here Firefox driver dot get title, this will give you the title of the web page. Okay, if I write over here get title function is same for all the three drivers because all the three driver classes are implementing the same interface. Okay, similarly for I as well, if I write over here I dot get title function will come up over here. Okay, so Chrome, if I put up Chrome over here, right, and if I run the code, then Chrome will open. It will go to a URL and you see that, right? It prints the title of the web page. Similarly, if I change it to Mozilla, then Mozilla will load and it will print the title. But the question which arises in mind is that how will I solve the original problem? We know that the functions are same, but it hasn't actually solved the problem. Still, if I have to click on Firefox, using Firefox, I'll have to write the code to click over. Although function names are same, okay, but in if else block, I have to write separate code for every browser. The problem is still intact. Okay, so one use of interface is that you get the same set of functions between different classes. Okay, the other usage is also there, which I'm coming over to. And please listen to this carefully because people they get kind of confused over here. So it is very easy. Just listen to this carefully. Okay, these are the three functions in the car interface implemented by Honda as well as Toyota. Now suppose if Honda car says that fine, I offer an additional feature like say GPS. Okay, which is suppose not offered by all the cars. All right, fine. Then when we create, the object of Honda car, and if I write h1 dot GPS, okay, I can call the function over here. But of course, GPS function is not there in a Toyota car, so you cannot write t.gps over here. Okay, it will give you an error. So a class can implement its own some personal set of functions as well, apart from the functions which have been implemented from the interface. Okay, so we made the interface. We had three functions in it. The Honda car implemented the three functions. Apart from it, it implemented one more, which of course I can use from the object. Okay, now comes a little different thing. Okay, if I create the object of the interface, if I write car C equals to new car, you will get an error. You cannot instantiate the type car. Basically, you cannot create the object of interfaces in Java. And of course, it is valid because interface is nothing but something which is incomplete. What will you do by creating the object of an interface? So it is not possible. But you can create the object reference. The left hand side is not giving you an error. The right hand side is giving you an error. Okay. And you can point it towards the object of the implementing class. Okay. Interface reference can point towards object of implementing class. This is possible. How is this line different from this line? Over here, Honda car reference is pointing towards object of Honda car. Over here, the interface reference is pointing towards the object of Honda car, which is implementing that interface. Okay, this line and this line, they have a potential difference. With this object reference, I can access all the functions in the class which are coming from the interface. Okay, I cannot access GPS. Okay, GPS I will not be able to access. All right, fine. So with when you create an object like this, okay, right, you can call the three functions which are in the interface and implemented by the class. All right, but you cannot call the proprietary functions of the interface like GPS. Then what is the use of this line? Okay, creating an object like this and like this, you are able to access only the functions coming from the interface. Then what is the use of this line? The use is that I can say I can also create an object like this. I can write over here car C2 equals to new Toyota car. Okay. and hold on. All right, and I can call say c2.start function over here. Okay, so when I run this code, hold on. See, if you look at the output, you will be able to relate that output of these three lines is over here. Over here, C was pointing towards Honda car class object and Honda car functions are being called. Over here, C2 is pointing towards Toyota car, so Toyota car function is being called. Now comes the catch that on the next line, on my will, I can make C2 point towards from Toyota car to Honda car. Because C2 is the reference of the car interface. Okay, car interface reference can point towards any car class. Over here, I'll give the same command, start. These two lines are same. But since C2 was pointing to Toyota car over here, when I run this, okay, this thing will call the Toyota car starting and this thing will call the Honda car starting. Okay. All right. So this is how it works. That's it. All right. Now, if you want, you can write over here car C3 equals to null. Okay. Based on your choice, you can write C3 dot start. Okay, no, sorry. You can make C3 point towards object of Honda car, or based on your choice, you can call C3 point towards object of Toyota car. Okay, over here C3 is not pointing anywhere. Okay, so you can move it among the classes which are implementing the interfaces. Out here, if I call any function on C3, it will be called on the Honda car. Over here, if I call any function, it will be called on the Toyota. Okay, this thing helps us in Selenium. Because in Selenium, we know that all the driver classes, Edge driver, Chrome driver, Firefox, Opera, Safari, all the driver classes, they are implementing the WebDriver interface. Okay, because of which, if I create the object of, if I create the object, till now we have created the objects like this. Okay, we have been creating objects of the individual classes like for Firefox driver, or we have been creating just a minute, for Chrome browser like this. Okay, now we know that both the classes are implementing the WebDriver interface. You can also create it like this, that WebDriver d1 equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, D is capital for the WebDriver. WebDriver is the major interface. It is the starting point in the architecture of Selenium. Okay, or I can also make WebDriver object reference point towards the Chrome driver object. Okay, right. Or in simple words, I can write it in the same way the way I did over here. Okay, I can declare my WebDriver driver to null. Interface reference is null. And based on my choice, I can make driver point towards new. The driver point towards new. Okay, that is completely based on my choice. All right, whatever functions I fire over here, if I write over here driver.get to some URL, then obviously Firefox will be sent on that URL. All right, and if I write over here driver.get over here to any URL, then obviously Chrome will be sent on that URL. Get function will be same. Is there anybody having any questions, or should I be repeating myself? Is this thing clear? Or you have any questions? Anybody with any questions, please let me know. Anything? You can also unmute your microphone and you can talk. All right.
It's clear, no question.
Yeah. Yes, tell me. Okay. So uh, we will be implementing this in Selenium based or not in launching browsers. If you look at this, launching browsers.java. Okay, right. Out here, we won't be writing like this. I'll remove. And we will declare the WebDriver. Now, based on my choice, I can make driver point towards new Firefox driver, or I can make driver point towards new Chrome driver, or I can make driver point towards new Internet Explorer driver. Okay, because the driver reference can point towards object of any particular browser. Okay, right. Okay, so based on your choice, you can dynamically make the driver point towards the particular implementing class. Once that is done, okay, you are over here. You can call the common functions. You can write driver.get over here to the website, say http, again, yahoo.com. Okay, you want to print the title. The functions are same on all the driver classes. You can write driver.get title. It depends on which object the driver is initialized. If it is initialized on Chrome driver, then of course Chrome will be called. And over here, you can call the common functions from the interface. Okay, right. So this way, when you run the code over here now, you will see that a Chrome browser will launch and it will take you to yahoo.com, and it will print the title. And if I change this to Mozilla, just by changing this variable and without changing the script is running on all the browsers. So we have made a script which is capable of running on all the browsers, and we have used the concept of interfaces in Java for this. Okay, you see that this opens Yahoo and Mozilla, and you see this. Okay, so this is how it works. If you have any questions, then you can please let me know. Right. So now after going to this website, you have to interact with the links, click on the elements in the browser. So how do you do that? Okay, I'm going to take that in the next class, not right now, because of course I need time. Yesterday also I didn't take interfaces because I needed time. You must have understood today, right? Okay. Now one more thing which you need to learn is about constructors and exception handling. Okay, right. So I will take up first constructors, then exception handling, and then I will go over, because in Java you need to learn about this before you go ahead. You need to learn about how constructors they work, okay, and how do you manage errors? How do you overcome errors with the help of exception handling? Okay, so these things I cannot take it today. Look, in the beginning, I prefer taking a little shorter classes, not exactly 1 hour. But as we proceed with the course, I might take a little more than 1 hour at times as well. It depends on what all I have to cover. All right. So I'll take up the remaining one tomorrow. All right. I think it's enough. We have just started. Only 3 classes are over. So after around 6 to 7 classes, I'll start giving you assignments as well. But I expect that you should be able to do them regularly on the regular basis. Okay. And if you are not practicing what I'm telling you in the class, then certainly, especially in the frameworks, you will not be able to understand anything. Okay. Because this concept which I have told you will be used till the end in the project as well. All right. So if you have anything in your mind or any questions, then let me know, or we'll end the session. Anything from anybody? You can use the chat or you can unmute
Hi
yourself.
Ashish.
Yes.
Yesterday I have tried to do the Internet Explorer driver download.
Mm-hmm.
I have downloaded the 32-bit one.
Download the 64. You have Windows 10?
64? Sorry?
You have Windows
Yes.
try one, and also download the iDriver exe. That will be required.
What is that? Yeah, the driver itself, two things were
Exe,
available.
download for 64-bit one.
Oh,
Okay.
64-bit one? Okay.
Yeah. If you get an error, then take the screenshot and send it to me.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Yeah.
So fine then, right? Everybody, thank you very much. We will be meeting now tomorrow. Thank you.